Hello everyone, welcome to the IDX Broker for Beginners Platform Overview webinar. This is Shannon. I'm here with Richard today and we're going to be walking you through the basics of the IDX Broker system. Our agenda today is to go over basically what you would use right when you get it out of the box to get the system set up. So we're going to be going over the front-end tools, pages, widgets, saved links, wrappers, the preferences for those pages, and then a little bit on lead management, and then I'll take you through a couple things on the account side real quick, and that should be it. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat and we will try to get to them. If we miss anything, you can always email us at help@idxbroker.com, and that's our support line, and we'll be happy to answer any questions for you. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first place we're going to look are the front-end tools, and these are all going to be found under Designs. This section is basically where everything that you are going to want to put up on the front end of your website. So all of your search tools, your listings, any widgets that you would want to display IDX information on your published pages on your host side. So we'll start with the pages section since this is the bulk of the IDX Broker tool set. Now you can see that in this section we have a list of all of the pages that come pre-built with the IDX Broker account. They include things like the search page, map search pages, your featured listings page, details page for each listing, and so on. Now each of these will have in the list a link for the page itself, which you can use to link to from your website, either drop it in your HTML, or if you're using a CMS like Squarespace or WordPress, you can add it to the menu links using that. Now each page also has a preferences section. These will contain the SEO settings for the page level, settings for the default fields for the search page. And this is a platinum feature, so this will only be available in platinum accounts. And then lead registration at the page level, which is also a platinum feature. Now we're just going over the basics of the pages here. I will show you lead capture in a moment, but for now we'll just look through this. And then each page has a edit layout option as well. If you go into the edit layout, you'll see that a lot of the pages will have somewhere between 3 and 9 templates. You can see that right now I have mobile first active, and that's the one that shows up on the front end of my site. But if I were to change it to, say, checkboxes, click activate, and then refresh the page, you can see the layout changes. And so you make that selection in here. We like to use mobile first because it is a fully responsive template for the pages. So if your site is a responsive website, it's probably the best one to use. So let's move on now to widgets. Now widgets are ways to show small pieces of data on pages that are hosted on your site, so non-IDX pages. You'll paste them places like if you were to go to a home page, you'll see here I have a showcase widget set up to show my featured properties. And my featured properties are anything that end up under listings and active. And these are properties where you are the primary listing agent on the listing, and they're pulled in based on your agent ID in the MLS. The widgets will come with some pre-built in. You can see here that we've also built a few custom widgets as well. The basic ones that you start with will be these quick search, lead sign up, login, the featured showcase, featured slideshow, sold pending showcase, and featured agent. Now the featured property widgets will only show properties that are yours, so the ones that show up under listings active. We already saw on the front page kind of what that looks like. This is a smaller one in a preview. Let's go ahead and start creating a widget. You can create a widget pretty easily. It asks you to choose a type of widget. Your slideshow is going to be a single image that rotates out through properties. Your showcase will be a grid layout like the one I showed you on the front page here. And it by default shows 3 properties across and 100 down, but you can edit that in the settings, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then the carousel is a strip of listings, so it'll be 3 to 5 at a time, and it will scroll through those listings as well. You can also build a new quick search widget, map search widget. These are some extra widgets that will be available in Platinum accounts. And if you need any help or you want to see how that works out, you can always call to schedule a demo with our sales team. All right, so first I'm going to start a showcase widget here. And it gives you an option to choose properties to feature. All these first settings where it says featured or sold and pending is going to draw out of your listings section. So if you don't have anything under listings at the moment, these won't show anything. But as soon as you do, they'll show up. So we're going to pretend like I don't have anything at the moment, and I'm going to go ahead and do a custom search. What this allows me to do is choose a search page to build a search criteria on to display listings that I want. So as you can see, it's basically a copy of what we see on the advanced search page. And so it's pretty easy to go in here and fill out this criteria to show the kind of thing you want to show. So in this case, I'm going to go with single family residence in Miami. And then I only want it to bring back properties that have images and are somewhere between 300,000 and 500,000. And then you can see that there's extra criteria in here in the advanced search. This is great for paring down by communities or other features for a property. And it's the one I usually suggest to my customers when they call in for building widgets. So once you've got it filled out, you come down here and give it a name. I'm going to call this the Miami 300 to 500 widget so that I know what I'm looking at. I only want it to show 9 listings for now. Click Build Widget. It'll give you the widget code that you copy and paste into your HTML code or using your CMS with code blocks, or in WordPress using shortcodes, as our WordPress plugin will convert this into a shortcode for you. So now that we've got that, I want to go back to my widget list and find it here in the widgets that I've created. Here we go. So first I'm going to preview it just to see what it looks like. And there you go. 9 properties, all in Miami, between 300,000 and 500,000. They just pulled back the first 9 properties, and it's sorted, looks like lowest, or no, it's by newest property. So it doesn't have a price order, but you can see that it's bringing in that data. So widgets are pretty easy to make. Once you've created them, you can go in to edit said widgets. You can always change the criteria. If you become a little more advanced at using IDX Broker and understand how the queries work, you can always type in queries by hand to further customize them. And then you can change the options from when you first built it to change the number of columns or properties you want to display, whatever you need. So the next section is save links. They're pretty similar. Save links, though, are going to be pages that are pre-built that can be linked to from your website. So you'll see there's a bunch that we have pre-set up in here, but I'm going to go ahead and take you through creating one. So under Save Links and Create, kind of the same idea as the widget, only you don't choose the type, you just choose the search page. Once again, I'm going to go with the advanced search, but you can choose whichever you feel is needed for the search that you're creating. So in this case, I would fill out, once again, information on the kind of properties I want. I just want to pull back stuff from Daytona Beach and see if we can find any that are ranch-style properties. And click Next Step. So in here, you'll give it a title first, Daytona Ranch Properties, so that's what I named it. So in this section, you'll get your SEO settings for this page. So in here, you would want to add the tags and the keyword or the descriptions that you would want the search engine to classify you under when it runs a search. Getting these as hyper-local as possible will really help you get to higher places in your search results. So I always suggest you take a look at that and try to fill that out a bit. The link settings place is for the placement on the custom link showcase, which is a pre-built page. I'll show you just as soon as we're done with this. And it contains a list of all of your saved links that you've created. The subheader section allows you to add content to the top of the page, things about, say you made a saved link about a specific community or subdivision in your area. You can fill out a description of the subdivision, add pictures, links, whatever you need that can make this page more unique so that it helps out with your SEO score. And then if you have a multi-user account, you can choose to assign these pages specifically to agents in your office so that anybody who uses one of these pages, when they contact an agent, it will go to the agent that you have selected. All right, so for now, we're just going to hit Save and Manage Links. You'll see the one I created showed up right here at the top. Go ahead and give that a preview to make sure it's bringing back what we want. Oh, it doesn't look like there are any ranch properties in Daytona. So I can go back in and edit it. I can take ranch properties out, update the saved link, and then if I refresh this page, well, it doesn't look like I have any properties in Daytona. Now this is test data, so it's not going to be accurate. So anybody in that area, don't worry, you'll have listings in Daytona. All right, so if I change it to be Miami, it pulls in listings. All right, and then through here, same thing. If you get familiar enough with queries, you can add them by hand in the Edit by Hand section. Preferences for the page, where you can go back and edit your SEO settings and the subheader. And then the lead registration settings at the page level, which are, once again, a platinum feature. And then, just to show you the custom link showcase, right here under listing pages is the link showcase. If you go ahead and click on it, it'll open the page up for you. And you can see here that it's got a list of all of those pre-built saved links that I've created. Here's the one that I made specifically, Daytona Ranch. That's helpful for your own purposes if you need to see what you have on your page. You can also show it on your website if you'd rather do that. But yeah, this is the link showcase. All right, so now that we've finished with the saved links, let's go over wrappers real quick. Now, wrappers are the part of the IDX system that make the IDX pages look like your website. So as we can see, my home page and everything looks like this. And then my site design is copied over to my IDX pages so that it's consistent around and gives a seamless transition for your users. So the wrapper, in this case, we've got set up as dynamic. When you first get your account, it'll likely come in as a static wrapper. This is the one that our support team will pre-build for you before we send you out the credentials and everything. We do this for clients who don't necessarily have the experience necessary to do the HTML for creating a wrapper, and we do an update for it twice a year for free. The dynamic wrapper, though, is really the best option for most people because it will automatically update with your site design every 3 hours when the plugin or the system reaches out to that page to collect the styling. So right now we have it set on dynamic, which is showing this. I'm going to go ahead and set it to static, which should be a little bit older. So now on the IDX pages, if we go refresh it, yeah, so it was an older version of the site design, so some of the CSS links and things are missing, which is why the styling looks wrong. And then we set up the dynamic wrapper, which is a page hosted on the site and is basically just the top and bottom of the site, and then inside the source are div tags that are called IDX start and stop. If you need to see that, you can always schedule a demo and we can give you a closer look at the wrappers. But in this case, since I've set it back to dynamic, we'll go ahead and refresh the page to get that design back. And this is what happens when you don't have the start and stop tags. So because I don't have those start and stop tags in there, I get to show you real quick what it looks like when there's an error with the dynamic wrapper. If you don't see just this green check mark and this status 200K, so if you see anything else like this red check or any other messages, that means there's an issue with the wrapper. Call into support and we'll be happy to help you try and figure that out. All right. So now I'm going to take a look at the page preferences. Under global preferences in your IDX Broker account are the default settings for the service. So you'll find a lot of things in here like the default minimum and maximum price, what the default page links are at the top of each IDX page or search page. You can choose to disable locations for searching, so if you just want them searching by city, you can turn off county and postal codes. You can choose to show the loading screen for searches, so when it makes the search, it'll transition into a small loading screen until the listings come up, and you can choose to add your logo to that, but you can also turn them off. You've got your results page settings. Find in here the things like the number of default pages that come back, how many characters to display in the remarks, and whether or not you want to use thumbnail photos. Details goes over the detail page settings. This will help you set up things like the walk score, bank rate, and grade schools on those pages. Map settings. This is where you're going to set the default center of the map. You can turn on the map on your results pages and choose between pin clustering options. Your properties section, which is just going to give you the same kind of controls you would get for the default results pages, but specifically for your featured property, sold property, and supplemental property pages. Email settings is where we set up the system to send emails to an account for when leads sign up or people send in contact forms. You'll want to put your primary email address in here. This will be the address that you want all that lead information and stuff to go to by default. And then you can also set up for each specific contact type an email address. So if you have someone that you specifically want getting, say, home valuations, you can put their email address in there. Now this section here is a platinum feature, so it's only going to be available to people with a platinum account. The social section, we use share this to let you share from the details pages to various social media. You can choose not to use this, or you can also choose to sign up with them and add your share this key to the account. The mobile section decides whether or not you want to use a default mobile wrapper on your IDX pages. So if you don't already have a responsive site, this is a good option for you because it'll break everything down into a mobile page that works on most mobile devices. And then the other section is where you can update or upload your logo for properties that don't have photos on them. For your specific properties, you'll see the logo show up in the corner. And then there's a few other settings in here that have to do with global design settings, and the mortgage calculator. Just a few things to look at later on. And again, if you need to go through any of this, feel free to schedule a demo with our sales team. First is leads. So we're going to go through the lead registration preferences real quick. Lead registration preferences are what set up the IDX pages to try and capture leads for you. So you saw a couple times where I had to X out a little box on the search page or results page. That's a lead registration pop-up. So this is the settings for those. Now by default, it comes set as a conservative setting. We usually recommend that if you don't want to fiddle with the advanced settings, that you choose balanced. It seems to be the one that gets the best results for people. But of course, if you do want to be a little more granular with this information, the advanced section lets you do more. For example, you can choose to block leads outside of North America, let people use your social media logins to log into their My Listing Manager account on your page as a lead, set up CAPTCHA, and even the form that pops up, you can choose what fields are in there, or you can edit the fields that are already there. But the most important part of this section is the global registration rules. So this is where you go in to set up registration preferences for the pages. Right now you can see on the search page we have it set up so that when you go to the page 3 times, on your 4th visit it will pop up to ask you to register as a lead. Now this is a request of information and it's recurring, so they can X out of it and just keep going, and it'll just pop up every 4th time. 4th registration will require that they pop up. Now the settings for this are going to be based on how users use your website and your market, but usually what I suggest to people who are trying out for the first time is to set it up with something like 5 pages on a request, so that after 5 pages on the 6th they'll get a request to sign up, and then force a registration after 10 views, so that on the 11th page they're forced to register. By that time, if somebody's gone through 10 pages, they're either not actually looking to buy or they're probably not going to contact you. It's usually, like I said, it's more of a market thing, but that seems to be the typical numbers there. And then, so once you've got those set up, we're going to do it for a page that doesn't already have them. Or it will be easy for us to see it on here. So we'll do the photo gallery. So in this one, I'm just going to have it let me look at 5 photo galleries and then force me to register on the 6th, but ask me on the 3rd. Just run a quick search real quick so I can get a list of results, and I can show you how this works. So I'm just going to open up these first 3 results here in new tabs, and then go into the photo gallery. Alright, that's 3 photo galleries. So on the 4th, here's the pop-up that is the request. As you can see, I can just close it out. It leaves me here. That's number 5, and then this should be number 6, which will force me to register. So if I X out of it, it'll start redirecting me back to the last page I was on. Alright, so lead management is where your leads are going to show up after they've filled out that pop-up or filled out a contact form. It's not a full CRM, but you can come in here and see who has contacted you. You can send them credentials to their My Listing Manager account, and you can also go in here and do things like add saved searches for them, which is going to be pretty much the same as setting up a saved link, only you're doing it specifically for this client. Now once you've created that, it will start sending out property updates as soon as new properties come into the feed that match the criteria. So that is it for the overview of the IDX Broker system. Once again, if you feel like you want a demo for this, you can call into our sales team and set one up. If you need support, you can contact us at help@idxbroker.com. And thank you very much. Have a good day.